Good morning, everybody. It is indeed a pleasure for me, on behalf of the Premier, who's off the island, to fill in and be the acting Premier and to welcome a great group of people that we have here. I'd like to welcome the President of the ICC, Alan Isaac, to Bermuda, and also his colleague who made a trip to the island this weekend to watch a wonderful tournament. We'll talk more about the ICC, but as we get started, we've got a couple presentations to make, so I'm going to get out of the way and allow those presentations to happen, and then we'll have a free-flow discussion and talk about the presentation, and talk about the tournament, and talk to Mr. Isaac in more detail. So,
everybody, and thank you, Acting Premier and distinguished guests. Here to very briefly speak to you about the ICC Development Awards. The ICC Development Awards commenced in 2002, and they recognise high achievement and significant contribution to the development of cricket in ICC's 96 associate and affiliate members. They've provided over 10 categories, and awards are provided regionally through the ICC's 5 regional programs and also globally. In recognition of the performance of the Bermuda Cricket community and the Bermuda Cricket Board, Bermuda has won several of these awards over the last decade, and it gives us great pleasure today to provide 2 of these awards to 2 very important people. The first is an ICC Global Award for Lifetime Service to Cricket to Mr. Gary Frey. This award relates to individuals who have provided a minimum of 10 years service to the global development of our sport. Mr. Frey is a double international for Bermuda, representing the country in both cricket and football. He also made his senior debut in cricket at the age of 9. Gary has also been involved in running Warwick Workmen's Club for nearly 40 years. Gary served on the BCB for over 20 years. Mr. Frey has devoted much of his life to sports administration and was instrumental in the integration between Bermuda's 2 segregated cricket governing bodies. So it gives us great pleasure today for the ICC President and the Acting Premier of Bermuda to present Mr. Gary Frey with the ICC Lifetime Service Award.
Mr. Frey, it is indeed a pleasure to have the opportunity to acknowledge you for your hard work. I'll let the Minister of Sport, the Honourable Wayne Scott, say a few words to this.
It's very fitting to have Mr. Gary Frey receive this award for his just outstanding service and everything you've done for the game. So again, just congratulations to everything that you've done individually and for this country.
Thank you very much, Mr. Minister. Good morning, Acting Premier, Mr. Minister, President of the ICC, and President of the Bermuda Cricket Board, ladies and gentlemen. It's indeed an honor to accept this award. It wasn't easy, it was a lot of sacrifice, but it was worth it. And I advise anyone, put your time in, and somewhere down the road you'll be rewarded like I. Mm-hmm. Thank you very much, and God bless everyone. Thank you.
The second award that we have to present today is for an ICC regional winner of the Best Spirit of Cricket initiative. This award relates to an initiative, activity or event that encapsulates a member's commitment to social responsibility and the spirit of cricket. And it goes to Hiscock Insurance CEO Jeremy Pynchon for the Celebrity Cricket Festival. 2012 was the 4th year that the BCB joined forces with Hiscock Insurance Limited to hold the Celebrity Cricket Festival to celebrate youth cricket. This year over $1,500 was raised at the festival as it brought together both community and youth. So if we can get Mr. Pynchon to come forward to receive this award from the Premier and the Minister. Excuse me.
Let me just say a few words here, take this opportunity. On behalf of the government and the people of Bermuda, Jeremy, let me thank Hiscox for not only your confidence in Bermuda, and this government looks forward to working with the company to make your stay here as beneficial to us and the people of Bermuda as possible. But thank you for your commitment to the community, which you've done through sport. And you've got involved, worked with the under-11 teams, and it certainly is a guiding example of what can happen when people get involved in the community and how businesses can make a difference here. So thank you for it. I'm looking forward to participating in one of these friendly matches. It's about time the grown-ups got a little closer to winning a match, so I look forward to being there with you. I think on June 8th for the competition. But thank you for you and your colleagues for what you do for the island and what you've done for cricket, which is one of our national sports. We're really grateful for you.
well, Acting Premier, President of the ICC, President of the Bermuda Cricket Board. On behalf of Hiscox, delighted to receive this award and also receive it on behalf of the Bermuda Cricket Board. We've worked with them for 6 years, 4 years on the under-11 celebratory cricket. The under-11 leagues are the best supported on the island, and it's an important commitment to the youth of this great island. We're delighted as a company to be here. We find the business community here to be exceptionally fulfilling, and it's very good for us to be able to give back to the youth of Bermuda, for the future of Bermuda, because the commitment to support is critical to the growth of an active community. So we're delighted to support it, and on June the 8th, I'm quite sure that the Acting Premier will play, but I'm also quite sure that he will lose as well. Thank you for your time.
In this press conference, I'd like to make a presentation to the ICC on behalf of the government and the people of Bermuda. First, to you, Mr. President. On the occasion of your first visit to Bermuda, it is certainly a great joy to have you on the island. I had the opportunity to spend some time with you on Saturday up at the National Stadium, and Bermuda's colors were certainly flowing there with the cricket game. It was a great game of cricket on Saturday. The weather was beautiful. We got an opportunity to talk about Bermuda a little bit and about the ICC. We appreciate your commitment to the game of cricket. You've been involved for some time now, having played a bit yourself. I understand you're a left-hand bat. I always found it very difficult to play wickets against left-hand bat. I seem to drop more catches than normal. But it's a pleasure to have you here. I think it's the first visit by a president of the ICC to Bermuda, so we're honored to have you here. I think you get the feel now for what you saw over this weekend that the Bermuda Cricket Board of Control and the government of Bermuda is committed to our national sport, and we make great strides over the years in that. The youngest, the smallest country to participate in the ICC and also in the under-19 ICC. That commitment and that success will continue on with your support. So on behalf of the government and the people of Bermuda, and certainly my colleague, the Minister of Sport, I'd like to make you a small presentation and token appreciation of having you on the island.
Thank you
Thank you.
Michael, Acting Premier, thank you very much for those kind words. I feel very fortunate to have had the opportunity to come to Bermuda, and to that extent I need to thank Neil. Neil Spate represents Bermuda Cricket very, very well at ICC, and he encouraged me to come. It was a long way to come. It was for those that are interested in numbers, it took me 44 hours to get here from home and 5 flights, but I've got to say that the effort's been well worthwhile. The tournament just completed is a major tournament in ICC's program. The qualification for the World Cup, and it's been fascinating to experience, albeit just 2 days of the tournament, and see the passion that the 6 countries from the 5 different regions displayed, and it shows the success, I think, of the development program. But it's also been fantastic, Michael, the opportunity to meet you and some of your colleagues, and the Minister of Sport the other day. I think the support from the Bermuda government has been superb. The fact that you brought Brian Lara along and the impact that he had on some of the young cricketers was tremendous. So thanks also to the Bermuda Cricket Board, Neil, in the way that you've run the tournament, the number of volunteers and the passion from those volunteers, the facilities that you have here in this country. All goes well, I think, for the future of cricket. And as you were mentioning, the fact that you participated in the under-19 tournament, I think the World Cup in 2007 for such a small country is a tremendous achievement. So cricket looks forward to the continuing support from the government, and wish you well. And we also have a small presentation that we'd like to make to you.
Step forward, Tim. Sometimes some of the people who are very important in any organization are a bit in the background. Tim is the development manager for the ICC, been to Bermuda before, was instrumental in helping us get this tournament off the ground and so successful this weekend. And we could not let you come to the island and not recognize you for what you've done. So thank you for what you've done. We look forward to working with you again in the coming years, and certainly cricket is a real foundation of what we do in Bermuda, so your advice and support is going to be needed as we try to build it up. And we know you've got a huge commitment around the world, and we know you've as a sacrifice to come to Bermuda. I think you're on 45 hours of flights.
It's 44 and 5.
It's amazing. So congratulations, and appreciate all the support.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
The President said all from the ICC, so I don't have to say anything, but thanks very much for your help, and thank you, Minister.
Minister Scott.
Yes, and before I call forward the president of Bermuda Cricket Board, Mr. Lloyd Frey and Neil Spade, let me just say again, just to reiterate from the government of Bermuda, cricket is one of our national sports. We're just very pleased to have the ICC here, and it's our continued plan to support cricket. It is a very integral part of our community. And thank you for all that you've done to help that. And I'll call forward the President, Mr. Lloyd Frey, and Neil Spade to say a few words on behalf of
everyone. It all started about 18 months ago, I believe, when Bermuda had put its hat in the ring to bid for the hosting country of the World Cricket League Division 3 tournament, which was just held over this past week. There was a significant, or magnificent, I should say, in terms of the criteria that had to be put in place, and Bermuda met that criteria with flying colors, which was big for the sport of cricket, but also big for the country. There was a lot talking about the team element here and how this was successful. This certainly was a team effort in terms of the government embracing the Bermuda Cricket Board, certainly with their help, the ICC as well, because Bermuda is, out of the 106 members that are in the ICC, plays an integral role, and we have a high value. Our team, although they didn't qualify for Division 2, did maintain a stay for Division 3, and is all about now developing our team further to make it to the next round. So it was a very, very successful event. In terms of the teams, it was highly competitive. We appreciate the fans' support, and certainly I certainly enjoyed the games, and certainly having the dignitaries there like Brian Lara, who also had put added value, which was I thought was very good for the fans. So with that, we appreciate the support of Bermuda through this event, and we look forward to newer and better things for Bermuda cricket. Thank you.
Yeah. Before I open up to questions, I also want to just remark that the president of the West Indies Cricket Board Control, Dave Cameron, was on the island. So obviously this was a very important weekend for cricket in Bermuda. And finally, before I open up for questions, we set the bar quite high on how the tournament was held. So we look forward to some very favourable consideration next time the tournament's being held.
It's a good question, and I think there's two major parts of the World Cricket League. The first is ongoing competition against your peers. Obviously, for the youth of any country, or a cricket person or a sports person of any country, to have the opportunity to compete internationally against your peers is very, very important in terms of the future development of the sport. The second point is about qualification. We have a very strong view that international cricket should have context, and the context around these competitions is significant in that if you win, you move up a division. If you continue to win, you qualify for the Cricket World Cup, the ICC's Premeir global event. So to give those opportunities to youth, the sports people of various countries and the cricketers of the countries is very, very important to us. It's not probably a question, might be a question for the president in terms of future events schedules.
I apologize. Pass the buck.
I think one important thing to say though is that there's more ICC events now than there's ever been before in terms of the Under-19 World Cup, the 50 over Cricket World Cup, the World 2020 and the World 2020 qualifiers. And it's worth saying at this point that Bermuda will play in the ICC World 2020 qualifier in the UAE in November. 16-team tournament. If they qualify top 6, they'll be in the World 2020 in Bangladesh in April 2014. So those opportunities are significant. Obviously, the more competitions there are, the more hosting opportunities there are. And as the President did say, we've been delighted with what's happened here in Bermuda, and we'd love to bring an event back here at some stage in the future.
Mr. President, anything you want to say before we close off? I'd like to...
No, maybe Earl, the only extension to Tim's response was to look at the progress that Afghanistan made. So they started in Div 7 and they're now going through likely to qualify for the Cricket World Cup in New Zealand and Australia in 2015. It's an amazing story. So the whole development program and the schedule of those competitions I think have worked really well. I think it's a good example. A bit extreme, but when you think there was no cricket really in Afghanistan in 1999 and they're now probably ranked about 12th or 14th in the world, it just shows you what's possible.
Okay, any other questions? Good, thanks.
This morning's press briefing. Thank you, members of the media, for joining us.
Thank you.
Well, it might be nice to get a group picture.